let's go back to a story we've been tracking all afternoon and early evening. Now, the ANC hosting its annual gala dinner ahead of tomorrow's January 8th statement. The event bringing together business people, ANC members and members of the public. Our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge, has been keeping tabs and eyes and ears on activities there. So many people to grab and to chat to and to pick the brains of. Siphamandla, over to you. What are we expecting from the president, hopefully in a short while?
Well, what we are currently having is that all those who are attending this gala dinner, they are having their starters. After this, the Treasurer General of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, will take to the podium and the President will address later on. Basically, we expect ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa to ask and urge business people to continue financially supporting the ANC. I've just spotted here Mama Baleka Mbete, former Speaker of the National Assembly and former Deputy President. She has just arrived here to join these proceedings. And I can tell you that now there are more and more people who have arrived here. But I'm now joined by Dr. J.J. Tabane. Dr. Tabane, interestingly, the host here, Chairperson of the ANC in Limpopo, Stanley Matabata, has just spoken about succession in the ANC, publicly endorsing ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa for a second term. What do you make of that?
Well, it's just reminded us that we are in an election year for the ANC. Cyril Ramaphosa fighting for his political career. The big question is he interested for a second term? And Stan Matabata just let the cat out of the bag, because I doubt that he would do this if it was not, in a sense, it's something that is being discussed in the background in that faction, right, of Ramaphosa, the CR17 faction. So it's all open. In a sense, you could say it's a factional approach, because, as you know, the ANC is very sticky about details of when nominations open and when campaigning can start. But there's no history of that being stuck to. Always there will be someone who part ways and simply opens the debate. And what you're going to see happening is that the other forces, in this case the RET forces, are also going to come out and say, we don't support that, we think that we need a new idea. You'll see slates already being crafted and distributed very soon. Just mark my words.
And interestingly, Cyril Ramaphosa, throughout his stay here in Limpopo, has not disciplined his supporters who are calling for him to get a second term. He said nothing when the Sekhukhune Regional Secretary publicly endorsed him. He said nothing when the Waterberg region endorsed him. Earlier today, the ANC Youth League members were calling for a second term. This tells you that this is going to be a very tough political year for the ANC. But right now, they should be talking about that long overdue National General Council and the crucial policy conference.
It's politics, because he won't stop people campaigning for him. Because remember, Limpopo is his home base, so he would not want to irritate the home base, especially when KZN may not be so guaranteed. Remember that the removal of Mkhize as a minister was always a big question mark for him. If it was somebody from any other province, he would have been removed very quickly. But Ramaphosa took months because he had to ponder the political support that will go with the likes of Mkhize should he have been seen to be acting hastily. So don't expect him to stop his supporters anytime soon.
And ironically, Sihle Zikalala, the ANC chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal, is here. But let's talk about what to expect from the president's speech very briefly.
As I was saying earlier, he's going to talk about the financing of the ANC. It's a big elephant in the room. And a lot of people are asking themselves, a number of people in the top 6 are actually billionaires and millionaires. They are not broke people. Yet the staff was able to go without salaries for months. So he'll have to address that, because staff are very angry as we speak now. The second thing, he's going to address the issue of the constraints that are facing funders of the ANC. As I was saying earlier, this particular fundraiser takes place in a context of a new law that restricts funding beyond 100,000 you must declare, right? And I was speaking to the elections head of the ANC, Minister Mbalula, saying, but you guys are the ones who wrote the law. You wrote the law that shoots yourselves in the foot. And he's saying, yes, these are some of the things that they may want to revise and move the limit of 100,000 to some decent amount like R1,000,000 or something like that. So those things are top of mind because an ANC that is poorly funded will fail in its mandate. What you saw in terms of the election, part of the, besides people just being fed up, part of it was that there wasn't R1,000,000,000 to spend on an election like they did in the last local government elections. So indeed, this is a very important, if you like, a watershed moment for the ANC to decide how they are going to keep this organization afloat.
Thank you very much for time. That is Dr. J.J. Tabane basically unpacking what to expect from ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech, which will not be far away from now on. He will have to plead to these business people to fund the cash-strapped ANC as we take it back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Siphamandla Goge there and Dr. J.J. Tabane in conversation as we prepare to hear from the President at that gala.